Hi everybody, and welcome to my channel, How to Cope with Tantrums. This is the follow-up video of video 1 entitled How to Tune In to a Tantrum or your toddler. Now this can be a very complex situation. There are times that I really feel I'm going to explode. I've also got feelings. I've been around the block a couple of times. But there is something that I've learned which is very important. And as frustrated as what I get at times and fuming, I take a deep breath and try and calm down. But we're focusing on tuning in. And this is a very interesting subject. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take two guitars, and I want you to visualize this on a stage. Both guitars are identical to each other. They've got the same steel strings on, and they tuned into each other. Now, if you have heard this before, please forgive me, but for those that haven't, this is very interesting. This is tuning in. This is sound waves. You're looking at the two guitars. So you walk up onto the stage with the guitar on your left-hand side standing up against the wall, and you pluck the E string. The E string on the guitar on the right-hand side is going to resonate. It's going to connect. In other words, the sound wave coming from the left-hand side guitar has made a connection to the E string. They are equal and they resonate together. They are the same tone, the same sound, without touching it. Take note of that. You plucked the left-hand side one, and the right-hand side guitar resonated. It came to life. It recognized something. It felt something. It caused a vibration. It was forced to react in the very same manner that the guitar on the left-hand side did. Now, what's interesting is, let's try and apply this to our daily lives without being ambiguous and without asking, is it possible? Is it impossible? Well, most of the times it appears to be damn well impossible, because at the most impossible time, your grandchild will come to you or to me as I'm telling you what's happening with me, and he would be appearing to me pushing the wrong buttons. But let's examine this. Seeing that sound moves through the air in the form of waves, surely there must be some feeling, something real about it if one person emits an energy wave to another. Then something must happen. And here I'm going to use a prime example which I learned from Dr. Bruce Lipton. So Dr. Bruce, thank you very much. And I hope you hear this video, because really what you have taught me in the past is very profound as a cellular biologist. He uses this example. When a man and a woman fall in love, truly in love. Do you remember that? Maybe it was years ago, yonks ago. Yeah, it's a long time ago for me. Every cell in your body changes, becomes alive, is moving at a rapid pace. The person that you perceive, you love with all your heart. And by falling in love with her or with him, you fall in love with the world. It's that feeling that resonates within us, which is so important. Now, how do I do it with my grandchild? Depending on the age, the years and the months, because there's a very big difference when they can speak a language and when they understand the language. We cannot, for example, say, sit down, lad, tell your grandfather now what the hell is your problem. And please, in detail, so that I can assist you to get through this day or through the day without a tantrum. Well, grandfather, you see, I do have a bit of a stressful feeling at the moment, and I'm not quite, no, you see, that doesn't happen. A toddler lives in the moment, as Eckhart Tolle usually says, living in the now. It's only the now that exists. So it's going to take us as the leading sound, the guitar on the left-hand side. That is me. The guitar on the right-hand side is my grandson. Now, I'm not quite sure if I can remember, but in the first video I made is how to cope with tantrums, is to deviate the child off the subject. In that silent mode, that guitar on the right-hand side, in that silent mode, there was peace. There was nothing to be heard. Until that string was plucked, until there became a connection. And this is when and how we connect with our children, is by making time, spending time, allowing them to use their own intuition, and when they're coloring in or playing chess or reading a little storybook or whatever they're doing, is to become part of that game. I used the example in the first video, which is actually very true, because I did do that. I used to make as if I didn't see the wall and walk into the wall and stumble over the bench in the lounge, or walk into the fridge, or outside, trip and fall, which to me is a very risky thing at my age. Apparently we break easier than what we did when we were younger. So by diverting the attention and placing it in a situation which compensates both parties, appears to me to be the answer to this. But we've got to be alert. We've got to watch our child. We've got to know that what he's doing now or she's doing now is a sign something is on the rise. And I don't want to use multiple examples, but I do want to say this, that this tuning in is more complex really than what we can comprehend. It's a question of reaching out and understanding, because we don't know what's going on inside that little mind and inside that body. On a molecular scale, we haven't got a clue. It's a little machine. You know, sometimes I think, when I look at my grandson, he's so active, he's so alive, and thank you God, we are all so grateful. Many children are not like that due to certain things that have happened to them, conditions and what have you. As a receiver, he's like the internet. You just type in how to find, and the algorithm opens up, and the choice is yours. You can select what you want to. how to make this, how to clean this, how to approach this, how do I overcome stress, how do I lose weight, how do you breathe properly, etc., etc., etc. The how-to opens up everything. And this is the question I ask myself: how can I help my grandchild? Now, I cannot have an adult conversation with him, so I've got to kind of become likened unto him in his world of animation and of, well, we were like that. I used to dream as a child that I could fly like Superman and Batman and all these guys. That's the world they're living in, and it's a busy world. And at the same time, they're being educated. So those minds is one gigantic sponge. Like I said, it's like the internet. Everything is there, but it depends on how, on what I click and what I download from that child. So, taking everything into consideration, it is not easy. There is no guarantee. I cannot say that I have tamed every tantrum. Then I would be lying. It doesn't work that way. But it is vitally important, my approach toward him. And if I can handicap it before the time by diverting it into a different direction, then there is victory for both of us. If not, well, we know what the hell happens. We know what happens. It is devastating. And they say things they don't mean. And they mean things they don't say. Now, how the hell do you fathom that out? As I said in the first video, nothing is personal. They are buzzing off like a busy bee. Everything they can lay their hands on, their minds on, their ears on, their eyes on, everything. There's no missing out of nothing. It's a fast-moving machine, and it's difficult to keep up. But there's times that come where we as grandparents and parents can step in and get calmness, because there's a time that they become calm before they sleep, hopefully. So there's a time and a place for everything. So I do not tonight or today confess that I'm a master at it. What I'm suggesting is what I do. Very important. I stay calm and I divert his attention onto something else. I kind of derail him. And then I zoom in and I actually say, how can I help you? What do you want me to do? Are we going to play football? Are we going to play rugby? Are we going to hit the swing ball? What would you like? Would you like to play chess? Yes, Grandpa, we haven't played for a long time. Giving a child options within boundaries is good in this sense. But giving a child options as to when would you like to sleep, where would you like to sleep, how would you like to sleep. It's the same with dinner or supper or lunch or breakfast. What would you like to eat? Obviously, there are limitations. If there weren't, then I ask him, what would you like to eat? And he'd say, Grandpa, take me out to a restaurant. It's going to cost me dollars again. And rands, yeah, in South Africa. So, please, I'm only sharing that which I have, which I've experienced, and I hope and trust that you could learn something from it, and if possible, apply it in a very good manner. It's trying to keep the peace. That's what we're trying to do. But at the same time, the child must learn. I cannot have everything in life. Not now. There's unfortunately boundaries to which I rebel. I honestly do. As I said, I grew up in the 50s. There was discipline at home, discipline at school, discipline at Sunday school, at church, and I'd done my military service. It was discipline. And I became depressed. It was not a pleasant thing. But today, I am ever and a day grateful unto my parents. And even ending up with military service. Discipline is vitally important. Discipline, I say, is equal to a prescription that your medical practitioner would write out for you. You take one of these tablets twice a day or 3 times a day until the course is done. When it's done, you should feel better. Well, you should. But you end up going bloody back again. But be that as it may, if it's a continuous thing, it becomes a problem. So what I mean by stop and no and not giving and losing and disappointment is vitally important. If they cannot cope with it now as a child, as a toddler, they will not be able to cope with it as an adult. So that's a little bit of advice that I've shared with you today. I truly hope that you enjoyed the video. I'm not an expert, as you know, technically on these videos. Look at the light flashing, beaming, bright, dim. But the day will come that I would be able to present something much better for you. So, before I go, I can't remember what they call it. Give me a like. Hit the subscribe button. And there's some damn bell somewhere that you got to ring. I don't know where. But do that for me. And the more you support me, the more I can reach out to children which are malnutritioned and which are really underfed, and perhaps mothers, abandoned mothers and their children in South Africa, our beautiful rainbow nation country. Thank you very much. God bless you all, and goodbye.